Investors are heading into a busy, shortened week of trading with retail earnings on deck from big names like Best Buy and Dick's Sporting Goods. And obviously, this is something we have been talking a lot about. And if we have been looking at the tea leaves in Target earnings and some of the other numbers, things like Best Buy are not necessarily going to be terribly strong.
The John Deere trade, the Julie Hyman trade. I'm sorry, the John Deere. You love John Deere.
John Deere.
Love John Deere.
They had a great year last year.
They did.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll fall. But if we're talking about retail specifically, not retail of tractors, then it's a different picture.
And then on the other side, you get into the replenishment rate side of the tractors too.
Yes.
And so perhaps that's at a deflationary signal right now. But when you think about the other retailers right now that we were pointing out, even a Dollar Tree, a Dick's Sporting Goods even, and Best Buy, this is a heavy promotional week. In fact, this is like the Super Bowl of promotion for a lot of them. When you've got Black Friday really kicking off the official sales, at least year over year, that consumers have come to expect for decades now, even though so much of that promotional timeline has been pulled forward and some of the companies have tried to recognize that in Q3, there's still a lot of the inventory that they have yet to churn through, and that's going to mean a lot more of the promotional scale is really jettisoned higher. And we'll see if consumers really take price on that too, because every single company that we've talked about, they have talked about where they're still continuing to pass through higher prices to consumers.
Yeah, this could be another, I think, dreadful week for a lot of retailers. We were just showing a graphic with all the retailers that are set to report. You have Dick's Sporting Goods, some quick rapid-fire analysis here. Sporting goods sales have been weak. We saw that in the latest retail sales report. Best Buy electronic sales in retail sales reports have also been weak. Target said that was one of the weakest areas in their business. So did Walmart, Nordstrom. I like the Bloomingdale's numbers outside of Macy's, so that was pretty good. Maybe Nordstrom does a little better than expected. And Abercrombie and then American Eagle Outfitters, there's a lot of discounting right now in specialty apparel. We heard that from Gap last week. I'm worried about both those quarters.
You don't think our producers buying all the sweaters at Abercrombie can keep
I do like Abercrombie.
Numbers,
it's so
their numbers afloat?
So soft. They're so
they're very popular. They're very popular in the house here. I was looking at a note from our friend Simeon Siegel over at BMO Equity Research about what's going on in retail right now. And he says what we've been hearing so far is stuff that we've been talking about, right? That we are seeing growing revenues, but almost universal, as he put it, gross margin pressures because of the discounting, because of the trying to clear out of inventory. What's interesting is that he says, we believe investors have been underweight discretionary and are looking to call inflections as supply chain pressures ease and companies speak to working to clear through inventory. So that's a good point that, yes, even if things are bad, at what point do investors step in and say, this is the bottom, this is maybe as bad as it's going to get or near as bad as it's going to get, and we're going to start adding to positions in these stocks. It's just something to watch for. You
know who else this is a critical week for? It's Peloton. I mean, we're kicking off a sales cycle where they would bank on anybody who's going to be able to buy one of the connected devices, outside of just signing up for a digital subscription, moving some of the inventory through Dick's, these new partnerships that they've really drummed up and added a lot of promotional element to between their partnership with Dick's, between the wholesale partnership with Amazon, just looking to see if they're able to move through some of that inventory. This could be a huge setup going into the rest of the holiday season.
No, it's a great point. I'll make sure to mention we have a Rockin' Retail special at 2 p.m. I'm going to be stationed at Oculus here in New York City with some really cool guests, including former Gap CEO and Jay Crucio, Mickey Drexler, friend of the show.
A lot of retail over there, a lot of high-end retail.
There's 111 shops in there, 368,000 gross square feet of retail space.
And tours in there.
How empty are they these days?
We're going to find out soon.
I want you to do a walkthrough before you broadcast from there.